Product Universe here. JD Vance takes the mic at Trump's cabinet meeting and blasts the media on live TV.
Mr. President, thank you, and thanks to the cabinet. So, at the risk of insulting everybody else at the table, I believe that I am the youngest member sitting at the table. And, it occurred to me that from the time that I was born to the time that Donald J. Trump was inaugurated just a few months ago, we went from, again, 40 years, we went from the world's manufacturing superpower to one in which we depend on the People's Republic of China to make the things that we need. We went from the proudest military in the world to one in which we failed to meet our recruiting goals. And we went from one in which bipartisan border policy was the consensus of both Democrats and Republicans to one in which we allowed 20 million people to run roughshod illegally over the countryside, causing crime, causing a stress in the welfare system. And again, that happened over the lifetime of the youngest member of the cabinet. And what has happened in 100 days is that we've started to reverse every single one of those negative trends. And I think what it shows to me is that the president, and you sit in the Oval Office and you see these portraits of presidents past, and let's be honest, most of them have been placeholders. They've been people who have allowed their staff to sign executive orders with an auto pen instead of men of action. And the reason the media attacks this administration as chaotic is because the president is solving the problems the American people set about to solve. He's actually doing the things that he promised that he would do. And Mr. President, it's been an honor to be part of it for the past 100 days. And let me just make one other observation, because it's interesting. I've seen the data, I've monitored it, I've looked at it, but the most underreported fact of the first 100 days is that we came in with a massive recruitment shortfall. And in 100 days of Secretary Hegseth and President Trump's leadership, we now have people breaking down the doors to join our military. To the media assembled here, it's a really interesting question. Why has that happened? Completely aside from the fact that I think it's a good thing, or I think that President Trump deserves political credit for it, why did we go from a military where people didn't want to serve to now all of a sudden they do want to serve? That's a story you guys should cover. But compared to that, how much time have you instead focused on the fact that we deported an MS-13 gang member with a valid deportation order? And why is it that the press is so focused on the fake BS rather than what's really going on in the country? I think that what we've shown, sir, is that you can do a lot. You can do a lot in 100 days, but you've also unfortunately revealed that too much of the American media hasn't learned the lessons of the past 40 years. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was one heck of a critique from JD Vance directed at the American media. A critique of how the media narrative about the Trump administration at the moment is that the Trump administration is very chaotic. Chaotic with its tariff policies and in other areas, according to the media, when in the last administration, the country was in actual chaos under Joe Biden. As the real president of the United States was the person who controlled the auto pen, as an auto pen of Joe Biden's signature was used for virtually all of the executive orders and actions from the administration of Joe Biden. As well, under Biden, inflation rose dramatically and the world went into chaos as war after war took off one after another after the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. But through all this chaos, the media did not once report it as chaos. They instead chose to report President Trump's administration as pure and utter chaos. An administration so far where inflation has come down, trade deals have been made, military recruitment numbers are at historic levels, oil is being drilled, baby drilled every single day, America is being respected again, and no new wars have started. An administration where we actually know who is in charge of our country. An administration with a mentally competent president and an excellent cabinet. JD Vance, the youngest person in the Trump cabinet, made some great points in his speech, blasting the media to smithereens, as the media has not once reported at the same level they are reporting now about chaos within the Trump administration, about the actual chaos of the last 40 years, where America's manufacturing has left our country to go to foreign lands where labor is cheaper. America has been plundered of its industry, and with it, the supply chain and wealth. The supply chain, which helped us to win the Second World War, a supply chain that doesn't exist in our country anymore, a supply chain that lies in foreign lands such as China and others who have taken advantage of our country economically. President Trump wants to bring back this supply chain and bring back American manufacturing, which will create millions of jobs and wealth for millions of hardworking Americans, and also create the supply chain in the United States if something were to happen. That's why JD Vance blasting of the media was great to hear. Great to hear him talk truth to those who hide the truth. It was great to hear him stand up for the accomplishments of President Trump and the cabinet so far in the second term. It is great news that Americans want to join the military again. But that's just my 2 cents, and you are entitled to your 2 cents. If you want, share your opinion in the comments below, as all viewpoints are welcome. If you enjoyed this informational and educational video, then give the video a like and turn on my channel notifications so that you'll be notified the next time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, God bless you, and God bless America.